Alright everybody, before I get into the video, I want to give a huge shout out to Pivotrax Moto for sponsoring today's video and sending me out the pegs. Go follow them at Pivotrax_Moto. Let's jump into the video. What's going on everybody? I got a special video for you guys today. Pivotrax Moto reached out to me and wanted to send me some of the Brick series pegs, as well as something else. A video will be coming soon on that. But today we're talking about the pegs. So these things are crazy. Immediately when they messaged me, I was like, wow, this should be interesting because I had never seen anything like this before. So as you can see, this isn't just your normal 2 pegs. These pegs are fully customizable. Everything comes in this box with a ton of smaller boxes inside of it. So this is everything you get in the box. First, I'll start off with the actual peg pieces. This and this come separate, and it's held together by a bolt. I already put them together. I'm going to talk about that in just a little bit. So you get those. You get all these pieces. I'm going to talk about how this all works in just a second. And then you get these 2 bags. So you get a thread locker, and then the bolts, the small little bolts to hold on the actual peg pieces to the main unit. So the first thing that makes these pegs stand out compared to your normal dirt bike or Surron peg is that you can change the angle. So if you loosen up this bolt right here, there's a bunch of notches in here, and you pull it out a little bit and you can change the angle of the peg on the bike. So if this is your bike, you can loosen it up and just this piece will twist, and you can change the angle depending on your riding style. So that's pretty cool. I've never seen something like that before. And the second thing, the main thing that's going to make these pegs stand out, as you can see, they come with all these different pieces. So you have the main unit, right? And then you have this piece. So this piece is always going to be on there. That's your centerpiece. So this is the first version of the peg. If you want to have the most basic version, upgrade from stock, but nothing too crazy version of the peg, you just put this piece on, use the 2 bolts, put it there, boom, done. And this is wider than the stock Surron peg by quite a bit. I have a stock Surron peg right here. These things are dinky little pegs. They suck. But if you look right here, it's about 1.5 times as wide. It's a lot beefier. It's definitely not going to bend compared to this if you were to crash. So this is already significantly better and grippier than the stock peg. But if you want even more, you have the option to do so with all these extra pieces they give you. So you would take this piece off, and let's just say you just want a little more. So you'll take this smaller piece, put this back on, 2 bolts, boom, there you go. Now it's about 2 times as wide as a stock peg. If you want even more than that, check this out. There's this even wider one right here, and they give you enough to be able to get this wide on each peg. So they give you 2 sets just like this, and this makes it, let's see, about 3 times as wide as the stock peg. So that's crazy. Your foot's gonna really be stuck on your pegs if you set it up like this. So you can go like that. They also give you these pieces right here that are more the style of the stock peg, or like a normal dirt bike peg, a stock dirt bike peg, where it doesn't have the little screws. It just has these. So you can do the same thing with those. It's the same width as well. So if you see right there, so you can do that configuration, and then they give you the wider ones too, so it's the same width as that one. So you can go like that as well. So there's a lot of customizability here. These 2 pieces and these 2 pieces produce the same width peg, but just a different feel, different kind of grip. So right now on my bike, I'm running JFG Racing foot pegs. They're just Amazon foot pegs, like 30 bucks, super cheap. They work pretty good. I'm gonna take these ones off. I'm gonna weigh the difference between the stock pegs versus these versus the Pivotrax, and then I'm gonna throw the Pivotrax pegs on and take you guys for a ride and let you know what I think about the feel and everything. All right, there we go. Got that C-clip off, that washer, and then you're just gonna wanna kind of wiggle this out. And I got a bunch of washers and stuff in here just to fill up that extra room in between the peg and the spring. So I was pretty interested to see the weights of the different pegs, because you can feel these are significantly heavier just because they're a lot beefier and the extra pieces. So let's see what the stock peg weighs. So the stock Surron peg, not sure if you guys can see in the camera, 109 grams. The JFG Racing peg, 137 grams, so about 30% heavier. The Pivotrax peg with the basic setup is 355 grams. And then the Pivotrax peg with the most aggressive, widest setup is 442 grams. Now, even though this is heavier, I don't think putting it on your bike, you're gonna feel this much of a difference. I was just curious to see because I could feel a difference in my hands. So let's get to putting the Pivotrax pegs together and on the bike. I'm gonna go right off the bat with the widest configuration. Take the bolts, make sure you get those pretty tight. I don't think they're gonna be going anywhere. Snug those up pretty good. The cool thing about these ones, a lot of aftermarket pegs have a lot of space in between, so I fill it up with washers. That way the spring doesn't have any free play in there. But these ones, they just have the perfect amount of space pretty much. Gotta fiddle with it a little bit sometimes. There we go. Then you grab this washer, it just fills up that little space at the bottom. Grab that C-clip. All right, one peg on. Let's get the other peg on. You wanna make sure those C-clips are fully popped in so they don't come off. There we go, perfect. So let's take the bike for a ride and I'll let you guys know how the pegs feel. All right, everybody, I'm out here, got the pegs on. They feel crazy. They just grip to the bottom of your shoes perfectly. All right, so here are the pegs on. We got the bike outside. They look super good, especially with the color scheme I have on my bike. It matched perfectly. And as far as the weight difference goes, like I was saying, I assumed you wouldn't be able to feel a difference, and you definitely can't feel a difference. It's just such a small difference in the big scheme of things. So if you guys watch my videos, you know mostly what I do is wheelies and stunt riding, and the grip is crazy good when wheeling. There's a little jump over here too that I'm gonna test it out on. They feel so solid too, just the way they fit and everything. Like, you can just hear that. There's no wiggle room. They're not flapping around. Oh, it's muddy over here. This jump might not work. My Supermoto tires. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be able to hit the jump today. It's pretty wet. That's a little jump right there. But yeah, I'm sure they feel amazing when jumping too. The pegs are important when jumping because you're pushing off them when you hit the jump, and then of course you don't want your feet sliding off midair, or when you land you want to make sure you have good grip. And they're super grippy, so I'm sure they're perfect for all you jumpers out there. Look at those things. Those things are crazy wide. One other thing I did want to mention that I noticed is due to the adjustability that these pegs have, with the angle, they have to have that whole system right here with the notches. So the pegs are slightly higher than most other aftermarket foot pegs. So if you are running a shift lock like I am, or a foot brake, you're gonna have to adjust the foot brake to be higher up. Now it's below where you'd want it, below the peg, but that's not too bad to do. Same with the shift lock. If you have the one like I have, you can adjust it to the next slot up and it'll be high enough to compensate for the rise in the pegs. Thank you everybody for watching this video. That was my unboxing and review of the Pivotrax Moto, the Brick Series pegs. I'll have to get some more seat time with them on, see how they hold up over time and everything. I'm sure they'll hold up fine, but my first impressions of them, they feel awesome. The quality is great. They're super sturdy. So if you're interested in purchasing these pegs, I'm gonna leave a link right at the top of the description. Click that link, go get you some Pivotrax pegs. Like I mentioned earlier, they also sent me one of their other new products that I'm super excited to try out. I'm gonna be taking the bike somewhere specific to test it out. So that video will be coming soon. That's gonna be an awesome one. So if you enjoyed the video and you wanna see more videos on Surrons and more content of me and my friends riding our Surrons, wheelies, jumps, all that stuff, make sure you like, comment, and hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys next video.
Destruction, a risky business of going against the grain. The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man.